Peace, 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 and bless to everyone that comes in. I am waiting on my guest to arrive. Hopefully, she'll be coming in soon. I know she got off work not too long ago, very short time ago, but she did say she would be coming in, so we'll give her a few minutes. I'm going to play a bit of this video so you guys know who we are discussing and talking about. These people that are part of these Hebrew nations. I definitely want to have a better understanding of the cult-like behavior that they display and how they are pulling people into these groups. We are going to get started on the video, give her a chance to get in. Maybe she got home a little short, but we will see. Let's go, guys, just a moment. And just pay attention very closely and listen to the things he says.
I said at first I'm trying to figure out if he was talking about my current rib or whatever. But he asked me was everything okay, and that his wife was close brother of mine's, inbox me, contact me, ask me if I have heard, asked me if everything was all right with my wife, my ex-wife. Okay. I said at first I'm trying to figure out if he was talking about my current rib or whatever. But he asked me was everything okay, and that his wife was trolling and saw a message that she passed away. Okay. It wasn't confirmed. He couldn't really confirm it, but his wife said it. So I went to look to get the information. I don't have a Facebook information, so I called her daughter. I called the Banaf, and the confirmation is that that the sister have passed a week ago. Okay. Now, for those of you that seen me do a barrage of videos concerning witchcraft, okay, during that time, right? See, a lot of you don't want to stand for justice. You want to justify the wicked and condemn the just. Proverbs 17:15. All right? I just don't go out there and attack people for no reason.
That's oxymoron.
Okay? I'm going to stand up in the office of the Most High God.
Exactly that.
And these women was going into witchcraft and trying to seduce me into it.
They using witchcraft
to like seduce him. Adam in the garden with Eve. You see what I'm saying? Regardless of what financial gain I can get off of you or whatever the purpose and case was. Because the woman was definitely financially secure, whatever the case is. But it's unfortunate because I tried
using witchcraft to take him and pull him in. And also him stating that their finances were secure, so he could have easily taken advantage of them. That's what I'm hearing.
To warn her when I realized she was dealing with Nkum. I call him Ndum. Nkum Richard is his name. Ndum Richard, I say. And the thing is, he had hit me up on the 25th. He hit me up trying to talk to me like I care. You see what I'm saying? Talking about Shalom, brother. Like, I'm gonna show y'all the message. This is crazy, man. This is crazy, right? This is crazy. Y'all wanna listen? I'm no better than nobody, man. I'm no better than nobody. Okay, you understand that? And I do things not that the Most High and done things in my past. You see what I'm saying? But it's the spirit and the mindset that you have, man. You see what I'm saying? In you. So he hits me up. Here's the messages. Now you see, this is December 25th. Now he hit me up around this time. He hit me up talking about Shalom, man, on the 25th, on the pagan Christmas day. And you see, he been hitting me up, sending me pictures and stuff like that. What balls and gall this guy have to take a man's ribs, seduce her into witchcraft, and then act like he's in righteousness, claiming he's an Israelite, but then he sit there and say, I'm a Hamite, Prince of Ham, I'm a voodoo priest, and this, that, the third. And you sisters, and a lot of you brothers, you justify the shit. A lot of you brothers, man, that was on that post, and I can name y'all, but I'm gonna be cool for right now. Y'all was on her post, happy that she wasn't with me. Happy. My enemies. You know who you are.
Great evening, sis. Wanted to definitely greet you when coming in. I was playing a bit of the video, giving you time to come in. I just wanted them to get a little bit of his aspect and what he considers the runaway wives, and not really speaking on what they're running from. But we can definitely get back to that. Thanks so much for joining us. Let me go ahead and stop sharing. And yes, let's get into the story, dear. I know you're just getting off work. I appreciate you so much for taking your time to come and share this information. It may be very important so that others can hear it and make sure they are saving the young women in their lives that may be taken advantage of, so on and so forth. As you spoke on the other night, and definitely wanted to get into the information. So thanks again for joining us. And if you could just kind of get into your story, and then we can follow up with some questions after that, just kind of delivering the information. I did present the gentleman. I have his name in the title so people can kind of know exactly who this is, and we can go from there, dear.
Okay. I'm sorry, what was the question again? It was a lot. I just got off, so I'm trying to deprogram from work.
Oh, definitely. I know that takes some time. I appreciate you for sure. Just wanted you to go ahead with your story. You can start with whatever you're comfortable to lead into, and then we can follow up with some questions in regards to that. Maybe just get into your journey about how you ran into this individual and how you got involved. Let's start there.
Okay, so I how I ran into this individual. It was like I kind of block out what year it was. It was probably in 2016, 2017. When I met this individual, I was just getting out of Christianity because I realized that Christianity was a scam because, well, growing up, I always realized that something about the Bible did not make any sense. And I was always afraid of going to hell or, going or getting in trouble with my parents. But when I became an adult, I stopped to care and try to venture out for myself. So when I came across him, actually, I came across him arguing with him about how dumb he sounds on camera. And he actually was like, well, you didn't give me a chance to get to know me or whatever. And his group is called the Hebrew Israelites. And so I was like, okay, I'll give you a chance. So he was telling me freshly out of Christianity, telling me that, you're the true people of the Bible. You have a nationality, which I was not sure that I had at the time. You're the true people of the Bible because of the ships. And this is before I even knew that we were actually from America. Well, I can't speak for everybody. But we the true people of the Bible because we have all these curses put upon us, and this is because of Deuteronomy. I forgot, I think it's chapter 18, where they talk about people coming off on ships and stuff like that. This is the reason why you're the people of the Bible. And this is why you've been going through everything you've been going through. How and the white man, this is the reason why this white man has done this to you. And I remember, going through my little challenges, as we all being people from of color and melanation. And so it got me. That part drew me in to the cult. That's what drew me into the cult initially. And it was good at first. At first, everything was fine. Like, it was beautiful learning about it and everything. And then it did not, it turned out to be something bad. It turned, I don't even know even how it got there so quickly, to be honest. It was like it started off good, and then you end up in this space like, how did I get here?
Let me ask you something on that, if you don't mind. When you say it started off good, do you mean you being accepted into the group, them making you comfortable per se? Was there something where you actually kind of started habitating in the group? Was there some type of living? Just to clarify that.
Started off good, like as far as the making you feel comfortable, the love, the you sister bro, the we love you bro, we love you sis. It all started off like that, like it was a family type of thing, and it was a loving type of thing, and then it just switched out of nowhere. And I'm like, how do we get here type thing.
So, so that was the nurturing portion, which is pulling you in. Obviously, were there any intimate things that you had maybe let them know that possibly you were kind of weakened in your spirit, like maybe a family loss, or you were going through some things, you were kind of hurt in your life, you didn't know any direction, any type of thing that you may have revealed, so that they knew, you may be able to be susceptible to being a target.
Um, I know that I didn't have a very great relationship with my mom at the time. And my family, we were at odds because of this situation. But before him, no, I didn't
Mhm.
have anything that would have, like, I wasn't I didn't have any of those symptoms. Like, I mean, I went through things as a child. I was abused as a child, and I went through sexual abuse. Like, I was raped when I got like 11 years old. But other than that, no, I didn't disclose that to him for him to pick
Okay.
me as a target.
Okay, okay. So when pulling you in, going back to, you said that, you seen him, you were arguing like, oh, you're a liar. He said, no, give me a chance. And he kind of persuaded you with some things that kind of showed you proof, the Bible, saying, hey, people were coming in, basically the immigrants, we were already here, kind of foretelling that story to you. Is that the thing that gave you the most interest? Was it the fact that it was this new revelation that, oh my gosh, yes, I am definitely an American Indian, I'm not from Africa? Was that something that made you kind of drawn to them, feeling that comfortability and that knowledge?
Actually, he teaches that we came here from Africa. Like,
Okay.
we're from Israel, but we went into Africa and we got on Africa. Like, they took us from Africa and brought us to America. That's what he
Mm,
teaches.
okay.
But that knowledge of us being already here, my grandma already told me that, but I guess I already knew that part.
Yes.
What drew me in was seeing, I was like, oh, this book, the Bible, because in Christianity, they only gave us a few verses and we'll go over a few verses. They never went into depth what the Bible was really about. So when he
Mm,
was saying everything that he was saying was in a Bible that I grew up reading, then I
mm.
was like, oh, okay, so it is in there. And I was arguing with him at first, and he's like, "No, don't believe what everybody say. People don't give me a chance. People are wrong about me." And he was like really sweet to me for a long time until he wasn't.
So the fact of trying to push the narrative of out of Africa, you knowing that your grandmother had already told you that no, you're already from here, that didn't cause you to, think that maybe this should deter you from him, because he has like a different background or something that he's teaching that's outside of what you already knew. That wasn't anything to make you maybe question if he actually knew the history he was telling you, or maybe just to clarify this. I'm sorry, sweetie. Maybe I shouldn't have asked you
No,
that.
no, no, you good.
Okay,
I
great.
understand what you're saying. Um, I was at odds with my family, so like I wasn't trying to hear nothing what they were saying or anything, because we weren't getting along at the time.
Hmm.
So I wasn't trying to listen to what they were saying. I knew the information, but I wasn't trying to listen because I felt like I was always the black sheep of my family. So I didn't feel like my original family loved me at the time.
Mm.
So I didn't really want to hear what they had to say, if that makes sense.
It definitely does. So, with you feeling that, so can we say that you maybe felt abandoned by your family? You didn't, they didn't certain things they wouldn't make you feel comfortable with. So, when you came into them putting this family atmosphere on you, right? Being like the
Mhm.
black sheep, as you said, right? So, coming into this family atmosphere, they use that as I would say, a form of manipulation. Would you say? To make you feel drawn to this, not so much only in the belief of what he was telling you, because you said you had that inside of you, that you already knew you were from here. You can understand what he was saying in the Bible, but that belief in itself, was that kind of persuading you to understand that a little bit more because of the nurturing they were giving you? Was that more of a let's pull her in with the nurturing? This I'm trying to pinpoint because a lot of women get they get pulled in, because of needing certain things. We have, we're nurtured. So we need the love. This is something that we require, right?
Yes, what my need is, what I needed was more so I didn't have my father in my life, so I was kind of searching for a father figure as well
Mm.
as a man because he was older than me, way, way older than me. Like he was like at 20 or 30 years old when I was born.
Oh, wow.
Like he's he's old enough to be my grandfather.
Wow.
So, um,
To be your grandfather?
yeah, he's old enough to be my grandfather. He was like 20 or 30 when I was born. Okay, maybe not my grandfather, but definitely my dad.
Well, if he
Um,
was 30, he could be old enough to be your grandfather if he's 30 years older. 14, 15-year-olds have children nowadays, and
yeah.
even so yeah.
Yeah, so I was subconsciously I was looking for that father figure and because of the knowledge that I thought he had. I mean, he knows the Bible pretty well, but he manipulates it. So that's what makes him evil because he knows that's not what that means in the Bible, but he uses it to manipulate women to bend to his will.
Hmm. And bringing you guys into what I would consider what these harems, like, hey, we multiple wives, we're supposed to have them, but putting all that in and using that manipulation of that religion is definitely understandable. So with that, after coming into the family and feeling comfortable, they're making you feel at peace and welcome and love, so on and so forth. How did it turn to like a relationship? Like, how did the relationship start? How did he kind of maneuver you into that portion of the aspect?
Well, he was more so he called himself my mentor, right? He's like, I want to mentor you. And then he was like, well, I taught you everything that you know. He's like, I kind of got feelings for you. Are you looking for a head? Which means that's their weird cult language in saying a husband.
Mm,
Um, are you looking for a head? And I was like, I mean, sure. I mean, I guess. And then he was like, you should let me be your head. And I was like, okay. He's like, you know I'm polygynous, right? I was like, wait, what? You're polygynous? He's like, yes. Here's my wife. He had her on video. And the lady was really sweet. And we ended up being very, very close by the end of the story. But at first, I'm talk about right now, like when I first meet her, I'm like, okay, she seems nice. And she had this whole build up of a like nice church lady, sweet person. Like, he's like, this is my first rib. Even though he lied, he had women before her. But he's like, yeah, she handles all my business and all that, just making this look nice, right?
mhm,
Like, he's just making it, he's like, polygyny is not wrong. You're supposed to help your husband. I was like, I thought the women, you supposed to help your women and provide for your women. He's like, that's that Christianity. You really supposed to work for your husband and
mm,
provide for your husband. I was like, that is not what that's not what I've been brought up to. That's not what I was taught. Um, I've always been taken care of. Like, I've never had to take care of a man. I don't know how to do that. And he was like, well, you learn from this lady right here, and she'll tell you what I need. And I was like,
mm,
oh, okay. Um, I had a daughter at the time. I mean, she's still alive. I have a daughter, and I kept her far away from it. I think he met her one or two times, and I was like at my house, my mom was around and everything. And my mom did not like him at all. So she told me that I could not take my daughter with him. And I understood because I was still trying to get to know him.
mhm,
But when I got around his so-called head wife, I say so-called because we weren't legally married. There was no documents for him to say runaway wives. You have to be a wife to to have the title runaway wives. We have to be wives. We're
You
not
weren't
wives.
wed if you weren't wed to him. How could
Right.
right, yeah.
We won't we're more like his whores,
Mm,
basically. It's like a sex cult, if anything.
mm.
But
Real quick on that, sis, when you say it was more like a sex cult and his particular aspect, right? Was he a part of a larger group? Just to clarify, is this like an organization or a congregation and he's the head of the congregation? Or is it part of a larger group and then he's a part of that nation and that's something he put you in? Could you clarify that?
he's in his own little small group, but
Okay.
he does talk to the other cliques. He came from the first branch that branched off. I think is I see. I gotta get the name for you. I don't want to tell you wrong, but it's the first Hebrew Israelite branch they ever had. He
Okay.
came from them. And then all of them decided that they were going to branch off into their different sections. Like you got the ones that wear the purple.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what they call. I see. I bring I wipe this stuff off my mind. But you got the ones that wear the purple and
Mm-hmm.
they be marching on the streets
Right,
with
right, right.
brother.
Loud on the corners. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with brother Nathaniel or whatever is them, and then you got the ones that be looking like hobos and they be talking about um having sex with children and stuff like that.
Right.
I don't, yeah, it's a bunch of them. He gets together with different ones of them, but he's his own thing.
Okay. So he participates or partakes in a lot of the groups that also participate with, having sex with young girls and young women. They're all a part of the same nation, just different distinctions. And he associates himself with that.
I won't say that they all participate in the sex cult. I can only speak from what I see.
Okay.
Um, I know for sure he does it, and I know for sure a couple of other branches do it, but I don't know their names right at this time, so I don't want to give false information.
Understandable. So with the nation once coming in, and how if he's calling you guys wives and he said, "Hey, I want you to be one of my wives," how did he incorporate you into being a wife without actually marrying you? How did he make that where it was like, "Hey, you're actually my wife," or is it just the label? He just said, "Hey, since he said you're his wife, you're his wife." How did that come about?
He pointed it to a verse in the Bible that says sex was magic. Sex is magic. It is. Sex is marriage. He
Right.
um he he pointed it to a example. It was more of an example of two of the people in the Bible had sex or whatever, and then they said that God said that these two people were married after they had sex.
Well, that portion is definitely true. The matrimony is the actual having the sex. When you're mingling with the person, that makes the marriage. That is the marriage. So that part is correct. But I'm thinking when they're using this polygamy, is there a different type of marriage that they participate in, or did him and the one lady that he told you was the first wife? Is she one that may have had a license to be married to him and everyone else followed, or she was along the line of just having the title as well?
It's not because it's not legal. Polygamy,
Polygamy. Mhm.
poly, polygamy, polygyny is not legal here in the United States. So no, to answer your question, it's not legal, but they do it.
Right.
Um, they do the poly thing,
Right.
and their excuse is that monogamy, that's not their natural way. The white man gave them monogamy to stop their numbers, and that um we're supposed to be um poly. Well, the men are. Women, we supposed to stay with the same negro for the rest of our lives and be miserable as hell while he out there messing up our pH balances and giving us all kinds of vaginal diseases because our womb is very sensitive.
Right.
But they're allowed to do it. They're allowed to put our bodies in danger for them to find these multiple wives when they can't even deal with the one or two that they have.
Mm. So when pulling you in, it was more so, as you said, too. He believes the wife is to take care of him. You said
Take
that
care of them.
that's something that you are definitely strong in. I'm the same way, so I understand. Like that sounds absurd. It's totally backwards. So you were right. So with that, how did he still bring you in, knowing that hey, he wants me to take care of him? Looking at the fact that this guy is like 30 years older than you, looking at the fact that he has other women that he is calling his wife, but he yet needs someone else to assist with taking care of him. What made that how can I say, what made that seem like a good idea to you at the time? What convinced you to say, yes, let me be a part of this? Was there some type of love, kinship? Can you speak on that?
It was a couple of things. I started to care for him because again, he didn't start acting like that until I got in, like in too deep. He didn't start acting like showing his true colors until I got in too deep. And I had formed a bond with the first wife.
So was, and just to clarify, was she very convincing? Now being the first wife, since you formed a bond with her, as you said, obviously you guys got pretty close. Did she play a part, or did she have anything to say as far as like, hey, you need to come on and get this relationship going? It's going to be great for you. And I love it. And me being the mom, not a mom, me being the wife, I kind of love everything that's going on. And you're going to love it too. Like what part did she play in the manipulation?
In front of him, she would say all those things. Oh my God, you should come on board. This is the best thing ever. And on outside of that, she'll be like, "You sure you want this? Are you sure? You might want to think about it."
Mm. So she did. She was half and half. Like around
No,
him, she act like she wanted to convince you, so on and so forth.
I think it was more short so because of what I'm about to tell you. I think it was more so she was afraid of him.
Mm.
And I picked up on that and I wanted to save her. And that's another reason not only I had my feelings caught up in it, I wanted to save her, you know. I'm gonna get a little emotional. So y'all gonna have to excuse me.
That's
But
fine, dear. This is an emotional topic, and you went through a lot just from some of the things that I heard you speak on. You went through a lot, so it's definitely understandable for you to be emotional and take a moment if you need to. I'm fine with that. Having a caring heart was a part of the manipulation. When people have a caring heart and, they're thinking about others and not about themselves a lot of times, or putting themselves first, you can be manipulated. So, understandable what you went through, having a heart and caring for her, seeing what she's going through, thinking, hey, let me get in and help her, so on and so forth. That in itself is a manipulation. Not so much that she intended to do it, I don't want to say that, but it is a part of the manipulation that can be used when it comes to these type of things.
yeah, she was the sweetest lady ever. She was closer to me than my sisters. But I get what you're saying.
So, okay, sis, you want to take a moment. You want me to play a little bit of the video, maybe while you take a moment? We can do that. All right, let's do
Yeah.
that, sweetheart. Give you a few minutes to collect yourself. I am so, upset that you and so many other women go through these things. When I heard your story, it just blew my mind. Like, you being so young, and this person being so much older. So we're gonna definitely allow you to sit for a minute, and we'll just listen to a little more of this so you guys can understand kind of the personality of this person she was dealing with. This video is called Runaway Wives. Why are the wives running away? And as she stated, how can you call them wives when you have not married? You have married or had, the intercourse, which makes the marriage. But in a sense of the polygamy, it's a little bit different. So pulling people in, being abusive and things of that nature, we need to make sure that we are checking on our family members, even if they consider themselves black sheep, especially the women, so that they are able to be protected at all times. All right, we'll listen to a little bit more of this, and when give the sister a few minutes to get herself together, and go from there. Let me know when you're ready, sis. Just jump right in, and then I'll stop the video.
You know who you are that was on the post, happy, celebrating, congratulating the whole nine, knowing this woman was my rib and been all around Israel, exposed to everybody, all the congregations. You see what I'm saying? So Y'all didn't rebuke her. Y'all didn't check her. Y'all didn't rebuke him. This man is a self-proclaimed voodoo priest that crept behind my back with this woman and she bought a garment for this dude for me for the Passover. And people making jokes and laughing in different congregations and all that. And now exact year later, when she was planning to go to Ghana and meet this guy, to be with this guy in December of last year, we hear the news now that she's passed away. Why? Because he's inboxing me on the 25th. Inboxing me on the 25th about her leaving. Okay? Or wanting to leave. You see what I'm saying? Right? And I'm like, yo, what are you hitting me up for? Like, I'm not here to console you, my dude. You tripping. You see what I'm saying? Like, what you want? You know what I mean? These people got so much balls. And you see he messaging me, and I'm deleting the messages. Shalom, man, how are you and your family? I said, yo, we ain't never cool. Don't be inboxing me, dude. He gonna laugh out loud and then delete the messages because he said she's leaving me. I said, Kyle, leaving you too, huh? Right? So why is you deleting your message? What happened between she wanting to leave you and she passing? What happened between December 25th and the week she passed? I think she passed around the 28th or 29th, a week ago. What happened? Because when you subject yourself to witchcraft, you accept those spirits. You accept those gods. You accept those demons. Right? You see what I'm saying? That's what you invoke those spirits upon you. So now you are a product of that. So now, if somebody want to throw a spirit on you, or he's self-proclaimed voodoo priest, you want to be a priestess, and he throw some witchcraft shit on you, or what they call a hex or whatever the case is, you done already subjected yourself to that. And if your man is a self-proclaimed head voodoo priest, then obviously he got more power, because you're just trying to gain power by engaging into that climate. For what? Because you want to be a priestess, you want to be a goddess, you want to be worshipped, you want men to lust over you. This, that, and the third. When she put the video with her legs up in the air, we addressed it. Everybody was getting upset and mad. I was doing all these videos trying to save him. You don't know what I was doing behind the scenes. Now I hear that this
He is such a liar.
Did you want
and nobody want to say exactly why, but let's
speak on that, sis? Did you want to address any of that?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
First of all,
First off, did you want me to remove the video so you can continue, or we'll just play a little more? I can definitely take it off if you don't want to.
no,
Right now. Okay.
you don't have to take the video off. No,
All right, dear.
he's
Go ahead.
lying. He's lying for one thing. She left him because the only reason why that woman left him was because he was physically and emotionally abusive, but more so physically. He beat her. He beat her all the time. It was one situation where he almost unalived both of us. We were in a car after one of those Sabbath moments or whatever. He was so drunk because he had an issue with alcoholism, and she had said something regular. She's like, you need to slow down. You drive. Yeah, she said, you need to slow down. You driving too fast. And Kakama's in the car. I mean, the baby's in the car. And then he was like, say another effing thing. And then she's like, what? I'm just telling you, pop. Punched her right in the face.
Oh my goodness.
And I witnessed this in the car. We're in the freeway, and the car started slanting and stuff. And then he looked back at me, and then she's like, don't bother her, she's asleep. I fake sleep, so he wouldn't do anything to me. And he was like, You got something to say about it? I'm faking sleep. It kind of was like, leave her alone. She didn't see anything. He almost, he almost unalived 3 people that day.
Mm. And this is, you said after a Sabbath, so this was after a worship service. He chooses or chose to indulge in drinking right after the worship service and drive with not only 2 women but a child in the car.
Yes.
Mm. Now, with that particular incident, is this the woman that you were afraid for, that you had grown a relationship with, the first wife?
Yes.
What followed that incident? Did anything else follow that, as far as like once you got to your destination? Did he continue, being in the jungle?
He continued arguing and yelling with her, and I was so afraid for her. But he didn't hit her no more that night. He just yelled at her and she just tried to go to bed. And then the next day I was like, I'm sorry, I couldn't do anything to protect you. And she's like, what were you going to do? You're good.
Right. So that definitely would be very emotional, and give you a very strong emotional connection to her, just by witnessing these things, making it even harder to kind of pull away, which is definitely understandable. So during this time, how long had you been with him during the time when this incident occurred, where you had been in a relationship?
Um, Maybe about, I want to say about 6 months, 6 months.
6 months. And then you were in the relationship for how long? You said about approximately a year or so.
Yeah.
What was your family saying at the time, or did you have any contact with your family? Were you like kept away from them, or?
No, my mom is very determined. She's not about to listen to me say I don't want no contact with you. And plus she had my daughter, so I wasn't gonna like not have any contact. This man tried to make me give up my daughter to her father.
Hmm.
I wasn't gonna do that. He really tried to break me.
Well,
And
glad that you're strong, sis, and you are able to maintain yourself mentally and physically,
but sometimes I don't feel that way. Sometimes I feel angry and emotional. I go to therapy because of what he's done to me.
Yes. I know that that's a lot to deal with, and not only your own emotional damage, but the damage of the people that you cared about that were around you. When being in this relationship, was it just you and the first wife, or were there other women involved in a polygamous relationship?
There were other women. They didn't last long.
So like
And
within that year, a few in and out, basically.
yeah, and he would use those and the women that wouldn't last long. He would basically put a highlight on those women and shit on us and make us feel so bad about ourselves. And it was crazy, my manipulation.
Yes, in the
It
video
was
before you
crazy.
came up, real quick, sis, he said specifically that, oh, I was here in this place, and these women with this money was putting witchcraft on me because they wanted to be with me, and so on and so forth. So trying to make sure that he gives a thought that, oh, I'm not interested in the woman's money, when it's the total opposite. That is so oxymoronic. That is like the total opposite. He tells you that you need to be taking care of him in this relationship, but then he just stated in this video a few minutes before that, that was something he wasn't interested in. A woman with having the money and trying to pull him in with money. So that's kind of crazy. Wants people to be thrown off to the fact that he definitely is seeking a woman to take care of him. That's his whole goal in this manipulation. And I see this religion as being a culprit in pulling women in to be used and abused. What do you feel about that as far as the religion itself? I know with the personal person or the man that created this, discourse in your life, what part did the religion aspect play in being able to manipulate you? I know you spoke on the verses and him showing you things, but was that more so the importance of that with you because of him using the religion itself?
I think the whole religion is evil. Anything that tells a woman that she's evil and that because of her, the whole world dies.
Hmm.
Anything that says that a woman is subservient to a man, even though that's not true, we create the man. How we subservient to a man.
Right.
Any woman that tells her, any Bible that tells a woman that she needs to settle for a man even though he mistreats her. Love your husband. You're supposed to have your husband's mind. Like, no, I don't. I have my own mind. Any Bible, any religions that shit on the woman is bad. You need to throw the whole book away because
Yeah,
the woman is the portal to this realm. Without us, especially the melanated woman, there'll be no bodies on this earth, no human bodies.
that's right. Absolutely right. So when getting out, let me ask you this: when coming out of this relationship, being in there for a full year, that can bear a lot on your soul and just your mind and you as a person, right? Just being in a particular situation, we take on certain aspects, right? How long? I know you said you're still doing or seeking counseling right now. How long, first off, has it been since you have left this particular cult or relationship per se?
Going on 3.
Going on 3 years, and you are still after 3 years needing counseling behind this because of the detriments that were put on you being a part of this particular Hebrew nation. Is that correct?
Yes.
Mm. So what, let me ask you this, what would you say to women that are falling victim to these particular um, cults per se or religions per se? You coming out, being strong enough to be able to get yourself out, recognize what was going on, being aware of that. What kind of things would you suggest a woman look for if she finds herself wondering, hey, am I, being abused or manipulated in these situations? What's going on? What, I know the church in itself, as you stated, that's something to be leery of when these particular groups in themselves. But what types of things should women look for in these men? Like, I know you said he kind of talked to you about certain things and showing you the Bible. Like, what other ways of manipulation should women be looking for, to make sure that they know, oh, wait a minute, this person is kind of displaying X, Y, and Z, and these are things we need to definitely watch out for, like something you would know to look out for the next time around.
I would say love bombing. Love bombing is when a person constantly, crazily bombs you with, oh, I love you, I need you, you're special, you're so special to me. That kind of thing is not natural. That's not, especially like not in a cause like this. Love bombing is a part of manipulation and it's how these cults draw you in. It's through love bombing. Same way you get scammed is the same way they'll draw you into a cult with love bombing.
Mm.
Telling you you're special, you're different. There's something different about you. And another thing they'll do is make you fear, like, oh, you're gonna go to hell if you don't do this, this, and this. Let me tell you, you're not gonna burn anywhere, okay? Because in order to burn, you can't take this body with you. When you can't burn your soul is energy. So going to hell would actually be a vacation if you think
Right.
about it.
Absolutely.
So don't let nobody threaten you with that lake of fire bullshit. Send me. I want to go. It's
So
a vacation. It will energize my soul to go.
we get a
Hell
great.
is this hell is a state of mind.
Mhm.
Heaven is also a state of mind.
Mhm.
Both are a state of mind that you could put yourself in.
We are the creators of either our heaven or our hell. Correct. We manifest the environment that we choose to be in based off of the things, so on and so forth. You are so correct. Oh, there it is. So when it comes to this particular thing, sister, you said you're still seeking counseling. Um, is your family, being a little more attentive to you and making sure they're showering you with a little more love and understanding kind of what you went through? Are you still kind of being evasive with your family or trying to be, less of a black sheep per se?
I mean, my family, we have a better relationship now.
Oh, that's great. Wonderful, wonderful. We are, we are,
There is an actual creator. You're a creator. There, if you're talking about as a creator of us, there's a source that created us. But it's not a God. His name is not God or Jesus. Jesus don't exist. He don't have a VV. So he cannot exist.
exactly. Since you have shared some great information as far as the exposure of these particular groups, and the things
And
that go.
I haven't even got to the deep stuff yet.
I know I heard some of the things you spoke about the other evening, and I was thinking that I know this has been a little emotional for you. You're just getting off work. You came in and jumped in here for me. Would you like to continue, or we can do a part two, and we can get into some other things to allow you to, adjust your energy, so on and so forth. Let me know how you're doing, darling, because I definitely don't want you to be overwhelmed with this because it's a lot. I know, especially with dealing with abuse, when you are reliving things, sometimes it takes a lot out of you. So I'm fine with that. I want to make sure you are comfortable. I appreciate you for sharing and being able to allow others to hear this story so they can be taken advantage of. How comfortable are you with that? Did you want to do a part two, give you time to recuperate for the evening? You've given me nearly an hour now. I'm fine to continue on, or we can definitely do that. What would you like to do?
We can continue.
Okay, great. So yes, go ahead. I'll just allow you to complete your story, how your emotions are, driving you, and what you want to share. And yeah, I'll mute my mic and allow you to continue on. Unless you need a break, just let me know.
I need questions to stay like on topic because I'd be all over the place.
Okay, okay. Well, yes, tell us a little bit more about some of the things that were going on, particularly around you in this environment with the organization itself, with the other people, how, obviously they were manipulated as well, bringing them into these particular regions. But can you explain to me the interaction with some of the other people and, did they kind of, see any of this? What were they blind to, some of the things that were going on behind the scenes as far as like the abuse and things of that nature, so on and so forth?
As far as in a community, all the men they condone each other's BS.
Mhm.
They they don't protect the women. We had a sister die. She was in she wasn't in America. I believe she was in Britain,
Mm-hmm.
and she got I don't know what to say on YouTube, so, or what I can't say,
Right.
but she had got shot or whatever, and they covered it up. Like,
Mm.
I think it was the group that wear the purple. They covered it up. I forgot what they're called, but they covered her death up. They covered it up, and
Was it something that happened with? I'm sorry, sis. Was it something that happened within the temple or itself, or
no,
involving?
it was I guess her husband
Mm.
was abusing her. He ended up killing her, and the
Mm.
church went and covered the death up.
Oh my goodness! So the Hebrew Israelite, I believe those are the Hebrew Israelite.
Right.
That nation in itself had one of the members actually, dispose of his wife per se, and the church was privy to this, and they actually covered it up. You're saying they knew and they covered it up. They protected him, so on and so forth.
Yes.
Oh my goodness!
Her name was Joy Bryant, I believe. You can look
Written
her up.
paragraph. Mm.
It's like Joy Bryant or something like that. And they covered her death up. So men, they condone each other's BS. They can see a woman being beat by her husband, they turn a blind eye to it. We're not women. Another reason why y'all should stay out of that cult is because you're not protected. Don't look for a man to protect you. If they see your husband going off, they're not going to protect you. What they're going to do is say, "That's what I'm talking about, bro. You show her who's in control." They're gonna
Mm.
slap. They're gonna dap him up. They're not going to help you.
So they encourage each other basically in this. So to me, it sounds like with them doing that, it might encourage those that may not even be as violent to partake in it because they think, hey, this is what you're supposed to do. Hey, this is how you keep your woman in line. Hey, this is what you need to do to make sure she's obeying per se. So if they're bringing in like younger members into the group, right? These are the behaviors that they would exhibit in front of them, and then they would take those on as being a part of that nation. Is so normal, is what it sounds like. The encouragement. It sounds like more encouragement.
Yeah.
You know. Mm. So when you have witness some of these things yourself, do all of the women discuss it? Do you guys have like, do they allow you to even like congregate? I know you had a relationship with the sister wife, but would they allow you guys to congregate like all the other women? Like, would you be able to like discuss things with each other, so on and so forth, all the
Yes.
matriarchs?
Yeah, we were. Because men, they would separate themselves. Like when we had the gathering, the men would go into one house and the women would go into another, and we're supposed to cook for them, while on the other side they getting drunk playing games. We're cooking meals and watching the kids and stuff like that. So yeah, we do have times to talk, and it be some women that be thinking like, dang, what I go through is effed up. And you have some women you have to be careful of, because they are really in the mind control, and they will go tell on you and get you in trouble.
Mm,
So you have to be careful about who you can trust, basically.
mm, mm, mm. So with any of these things, I'm just wondering, and I hope this isn't a weird question, would they try to engage per se with other members? Possibly any type of engagement in sex parties or any type of engagement in swinging per se, with different wives or wife swapping per se. Did any of that occur within this particular cult?
I've heard of it occurring, but it didn't occur around me.
Okay. Okay. So you weren't invited to partake in anything of the sort, just to, you know,
No,
okay. Okay. Just being a part of your family. Now, you said you didn't have your daughter there. How do they interact with the children? I know you said the women take care of the children. They're doing the cooking, obviously, all the things they think is a woman's job while they're drinking, playing games and things. How do they interact with the children? How do the men interact with the children at all, if at all?
they don't. They don't. They figure that it's the woman's job to take care of the children, while we also cook and take care of the husband.
Hmm. Anything they plan for the children, let's say an outing, or a trip, go to a movie or to the park, or any of these things. I know they said that you said that it's the woman's job, but family vacations, was there anything for the children to be able to gain or have any type of relationship with the fathers at all in these particular cults, or?
And the one that I was in, no. We even my sister wife, she had to take his daughter because he didn't want to have his daughter. So she took his daughter half of the summer. She'll have her
Mm.
all summer. And it was also for a specific reason that I will tell later on. Did y'all watch the whole video?
No, no, I just started watching it, right before you came in, about 2 or 3 minutes. I fast forwarded to this part. I wanted them to just kind of get an idea of him. It is a pretty long video. I will drop it in the chat, but definitely go ahead and elaborate on some of the things that he spoke of in the video, if you could, so that when they watch it, they'll have a better understanding of any falsities that he may have put out.
Okay, sure. In the video, he taught. So this man is a school teacher, by the way,
Mm,
in St. Louis. He's a school teacher. Um, don't know what school he worked at, because if I did, I would have been exposed it.
mm, mm, mm,
Second of all, he had so my sister wife, I'm gonna call her my sister because we were like sisters. She passed away, and that's the
mm,
woman I think he was talking about. Talking, yeah, that was the woman he was talking crap about in the video with the voodoo priest doctor.
mm.
And then the second woman that died was the mother of his daughter.
So
And yeah, she was the mother of his daughter. And he used to say all the time, she's lying, she's lying. But I honestly don't believe that that woman was lying. I don't think a woman would go so hard as to prove that you are touching on her daughter.
mm, mm, mm,
Cause she be like, please, somebody, please help me. They this man right here. And it's a video. He put it in his own video. Stupid, put it in
mm,
his own video. Saying it, she's like, please, somebody, please. This man Maharka is touching on my own daughter. He's touching on my daughter. These people try to deem me crazy because I didn't want a birth certificate for my daughter. I've tried so many ways to get my daughter out of his custody, and I cannot. They won't give me my daughter, all because I wouldn't get a birth certificate for her. They think that I'm crazy. They put me in an asylum,
mm,
and
mm,
she trying to get her baby back because she said that he's been touching on her daughter.
mm. And he has custody of the daughter now?
Yeah, he has custody of her.
How old is she?
She's like maybe 5 or 6 now.
Oh, wow, she's small. And they gave him the custody? That's kind of odd. A lot of times it's very strange for the man to get custody of a child, especially a young child.
They deemed her crazy. They deemed her
Oh, because she's
insane
insane because
because
that
she
hurt.
wouldn't sign a birth certificate for her child.
So they can put her baby into slavery. So yeah, I'm sure they find her crazy because of that. But there's legal ways to get around that. I'm still surprised she must not have had any support at all to assist her when it came to that. Mm. So he has the custody of that child. How many other children were involved in you guys' particular family per se?
Just her.
Oh, just the daughter that was outside of the so-called marriages.
I mean, he has other kids, but the only child that I with was his daughter, the youngest one.
Okay, okay. So the interaction, not much interaction with the children. The abuse is there. Do they do public schooling? Another thing I was wondering. Is there like some type of homeschooling in particular programs that they use for the children, or how does that work?
Some of them homeschool their kids, and some of them public school their kids. It just depends.
So, any particular things that stood out or stand out to you when it comes to, you know, any particular thing or event or anything that happened during your time there that you would like to speak on or mention? I didn't hear your entire information, Bill, the other night, so I'm not sure of everything you spoke on. I did hear you speaking a little bit about, the incident with the car and a few other things, but I missed a lot of the beginning of your conversation. So if you want, you can definitely get into some of that. I wouldn't know what to ask you because I didn't hear that portion, but anything
Okay.
that you went into as far as those details, please feel free to share.
The woman in the video that was talking was his baby mama, and she is now deceased. Just like my sister, deceased. In the video, he
Let me
talked.
ask you on that. They're both deceased, and how did your sister become deceased? Let's start with her.
Okay, so this one's a long story. Okay. Okay, so with her, she got into a car accident. Her husband, her real husband, was not treating her very well at all. It's like she walked right into another abuse situation.
Mm.
But this guy was a voodoo priest. And she got out of the situation, but she got hit by a car, and she was fine. She did a couple of weeks in the hospital. She was fine. And then when she got back into the house, she stopped breathing. She just stopped breathing.
So that was due to a car accident. I'm just wondering about the deceased. What about the daughter's mother? Is that the other person? What happened with her?
Oh, she she got shot. She was about to walk home, and two men approached her in the video and shot her down.
Oh my goodness, that's really strange. Um, in a car accident, then the other one being, I'm not going to comment too much on that, but that just hit me strange when you told me that both of them were deceased. I'm just thinking, was there any type of investigation done into anything to see if he was involved in either of these things at all? Was the car accident just like a random thing, a drunk driver? Do you know or recall?
I don't recall.
Hmm. Yeah, because that just sounds really strange to me. So how long after you leaving did this happen? Were you still in touch with her? How did you find out about, what happened with her, so on and so forth?
It, she was going through issues with her real husband, and she had stopped talking to me for a couple of days, and I remember being really, really mad at her. Sorry. I remember being really mad at her, and kept calling her back and forth, back and forth. She did not answer me. And her son was calling me, and I was like, "What's up?" He was like, "I'm trying to reach you." He was like, "I think that you deserve to know that my mom is dead."
Mm.
And I was like, "What?" And I was like, I don't know, I was in a different world for a minute because I couldn't understand how and why did that happen to that woman.
Mm.
She had such a beautiful soul.
When being brought in these situations, a lot of times it can like bring on these dark energies, or these dark entities that attach to you, especially from others that have like dark spirits and dark energies that they're dealing with. So attaching herself to that relationship and being bound down to it. Sometimes you can, have things happen that are just natural, maybe to remove her from the situation because she couldn't find a way to get herself out, just to take her away from the pain. We don't know how these things happen sometimes, but um, I wish she would have had the strength to leave the situation. What caused you to leave? What was like the final straw where you was like, you know what, I'm done and I am out of here. I gotta go. What caused you to gather your strength together to actually remove yourself?
He was physically abusive to me as well. What really caused me, well, it was two things that caused me. One of the things is he had many, many women, so many women. And and these women were not his wives because it was only me and Kaya. And he threw off my pH balance, and he made me feel like the dirtiest woman in the world. He he pointed to the Bible verse where it said that the woman that was dirty or whatever like that, and he was like, "What does that say about you?" And I never had issues like that. Like, I'm always a clean person. I stay clean, so he threw me off and made me feel really crappy, and he told everybody about it. He told all his boys about it, and they made a mockery about it. About So
Mm.
it broke my soul.
I'm sure it did. That right there in itself, him being the person to actually be the, the dirty one and to accuse you, deflecting that on you to use it to abuse you is like more than sick. That's like more than sick, especially knowing what's going on, knowing what he's doing, so on and so forth. So
It's,
after the abuse, so the abuse didn't start right away. It was something that started a little, like maybe halfway between. So you were kind of stuck at that point. You'd already been caught up in the relationship. So now, what was the final straw?
yeah. Final straw was he was driving, and my daughter and his daughter was in the back, and he was mad at me because he one of his random women, he was trying to get one of his random women to go back with him to St. Louis, and she was like, "No, I don't want to go." So for he blamed me for her not going. And so I was like, "I didn't do anything." And he was like, "Say another word and see what I do." I was like, well, you're not gonna tell me not to say another word because I'm telling you I ain't doing anything. You mad because this little girl don't want to come with you. Maybe she just don't want to come with you because your attitude is fraud. And he was like, say another mother effing thing. And I said something else. And he like yanked me up. Like how he yanked me up.
Mm-hmm.
My little girl was looking at me in fear. I never want to see that look again.
Mm. So that was definitely it. So when you said he was trying to take this young girl, was she, how young was the young girl that he was very upset that he could not get to, manipulate?
She, at the time, was probably like, I would say she was about 25.
Mm. And here this guy's well over 50, right? At the time.
Yeah,
And he having these interests in these young girls. You were pretty young too, because you were what? You said you were early 20s as well, correct? Or like mid 20s.
mid 20s.
So yeah, these he goes to manipulate these very young women, young girls, bringing them in to this particular situation because he knows that he can use that father figure to kind of manipulate the religion, the father figure, finding out your weakness, and they're looking for family, they're needing this or needing that. That's why it's so important to make sure the children have this inside themselves, knowing that that love comes from within and not to look for anything outside. And I think that's a part of manipulation when it comes to religion, not knowing yourself, not going into yourself and being familiar and loving yourself. So you're searching for things outside of that to give you the satisfaction. So religion is a great vice in, doing that, and the self-esteem. So during this relationship, did it remove or take away from any of your self-esteem? Did it make you feel any type of way as far as like lowering yourself, or was it like, no, I'm just too good for this, and this is my time to go, and so on and so forth? What was kind of going on in your mind at the time?
I felt like I was MK Ultra for real. So I felt really shitty about myself. I felt like I didn't know who I was. I have dissociation. I dissociate out of nowhere. Um, I had to learn myself all over again. I struggle with speaking because I didn't have a voice in the cult. We wasn't allowed to have it. So I struggle with finding my inner dragon because we weren't allowed to have a voice. It was whatever the man said, and if you spoke as a woman, you were shunned. You were you were masculine. You were not desired. A good woman is a quiet woman.
That's right. And him not being able to appreciate or know that, obviously not being a good man, to recognize, and to understand that, woman is definitely a prize, like seriously. So if a so-called man doesn't recognize or understand that or know that, he definitely has some issues to deal with, a person needing satisfaction from multiple women, those are things that they don't have in themselves, that they're not allowed um, to accept about themselves, or pull from themselves. They don't love themselves, they're not satisfied with themselves. They have little boy issues, mommy issues, daddy issues, so they'll take that out on the women and try to draw from your energy and put that on you, so on and so forth. So yeah, that's a lot that goes on when it comes to these manipulating tactics. We definitely have to be strong. What advice would you have for anyone that finds themselves in this position? How would you notice this? Like a lot of people thinking, oh, I'm just in a church and I'm trying to praise God and I want to be an astute person, so on and so forth. What are the signs for them to look for, the simpler signs that you would maybe warn them of, especially when it comes to a male woman relationship?
The love bombing, the mental manipulation. Like if a man is telling you as a woman that you are not valuable, that you don't have a role or anything like that, run. If a man's telling you that Jesus is going to open up the sky and it's going to be a military and they're going to fight the battles, run,
Hmm.
because Jesus ain't going to do all that. Um, if a man's telling you that you have to go to another house because you're on your period, and basically you got to sleep alone unprotected in another house because you're on your period, you run. Because there's nothing wrong with your period sanctifies everything. Our menstrual blood is powerful and it sanctifies everything in the house. It absorbs up all negative energy and it gives it back to the universe. So anybody telling you to go lay in a different house because you're menstruating, that man does not love you or care about your safety. Um, if he start if and another thing, women, pay attention to your kids. If you in this Hebrew group, pay attention to your babies. Listen to what they saying. Listen to what they saying. Because a lot of people I've seen just allow their kids to just go running anywhere and they'll go to the store, leave their kids around a whole group of Negroes, and you leaving your little children around a group of Negroes that you don't even know. Not
And
me, I
then they're
wouldn't.
drinking and all of that, which
Yeah,
makes it worse.
which
Mm-hmm.
makes it worse. Don't do that. You just because that person got your skin color, it does not mean that that person won't do nothing to your baby.
Mm. Have you heard in a lot of the
Look, I'm
women in
sorry.
these groups? Have
I'm
you heard a
sorry,
lot?
real quick.
Oh, yes.
I seen a comment. Women need to. Somebody said women need to protect their children in these groups.
Yeah.
Men also need to protect
Mm-hmm.
their children in these groups. Don't put it all on the women. I hate when people do that. Stop putting everything on the woman. Anything. Anyway, back to what you were saying. I apologize.
No, no, no. And that's my comment. What I meant by that is that the women that are participating in the groups, protecting the children by staying out of these groups. Maybe I didn't clarify, but that's what I
Oh,
meant.
I
Not being in
apologize.
these groups. No, no, that's fine. Because I understand what you're saying about, putting it on the women. You're definitely right about that because it's the man's responsibility as well. But I mean, as far as like definitely being a part of these groups, these women have to protect the children by not participating in these things. Got to be stronger and understand that there's a lot of manipulation. And that's why I wanted you to do this because I definitely want women to see and understand that I mean it can happen to anybody. You may even think that, oh, I couldn't be a person that can be manipulated. I would never. You never know what time of your life, what weak point someone could catch you. These things happen to a lot of people.
Anybody can be manipulated. If you
Yeah.
don't think you can be manipulated, you're a fool. Anyone, the smartest person in the world, can be manipulated. It has nothing to do with how smart or dumb you are. It don't.
has to be. It has a lot to do with being caught in weak moments. You know, I hear a lot of women saying not only so much in the cult, but the relationships. You know, women get involved in because they're having a weak moment and they just needed that little bit of love, or you know, this, and that. So definitely got to be careful of yourself. You know, and protecting yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually against all these things that come and rise against the womb. You know.
Yes.
Yeah, it is always the children that seem to suffer because if your mom is going through, or if your mom has mental issues because she's being abused and mistreated, she's not going to be able to give you the right or proper energy. So yes, it's the woman and the child that suffers in these things, you know. And like you said, these men a lot of times they don't care. They too busy chilling and playing and you know drinking, and the woman taking care of everything, taking care of them. They don't want to do anything. It sounds like a very lazy lifestyle to me. It sounds like an irresponsible person that never had responsibility in their lives. They don't know how to incorporate themselves in a relationship nor in society. And I don't think they have a place in our society, a lot of them, you know, in these particular groups. You know, their places with building in the community of harnessing shame and abuse and maltreatment and all these things and festering upon these things, you know, when they can gather up and support each other in these things, so on and so forth. Those types of behaviors, you know, they don't deserve to be in our society. So we definitely need to protect ourselves, women, children, and men. You know, the man can be manipulated to be brought into these things. Oh man, look, you can live like this and you can have all these wives and I mean,
Mm-hmm.
imagine a young man hearing one of these guys talking to them about the things that they, you know, try to rule over the women in the society with. It would make them want to be a part of that, you know, drawing them in. That's another form of the brainwashing, to make them think it's good, you know. What's that? The grass is greener on the other side, but it's always not.
Yep. And women will mess you up with that mindset too.
That's right.
You think it's okay to just keep on making babies just to sow your seed?
Mm.
Okay, go for it.
Dropping seeds in unfertile soil, all of that. They doing that, a lot of that. Crossbreeding, using that as part of manipulation in the society. I mean, it's so much stuff that's going on. It's really ridiculous. But we have to just definitely make sure we are protecting ourselves. I'm so glad you are in a strong place. And have you maintained any sorts of relationship other than your sister from people in that particular community? Do you know if any of them are still there, and some of the same people have been there for even the 3 years you've been gone, still there, still participating, still being a part of it, so on and so forth? Or have you kind of lost touch with
Well,
everyone?
I know some people that are still there,
Hmm.
but some people just, I guess, like the abuse. You got some people just like the abuse.
They get used to it. It's a part of their frequency now, and they can't escape it. Do you have any of them that you speak to that say, "Hey, I wish I could do what you did. I wish I had the strength to, just get up and go," or, but I don't have anywhere to go? Are some of them that you've spoken to kind of maybe stagnant or stuck because they don't have anywhere else or anyone else?
Mm-mm.
No, more so just being in that a habitual nature.
Right.
Mm, mm, mm. And if you don't mind, sis, can you make sure that you clarify his name in this particular group that you were a part of again?
Mahara Call, and his group is 237 237. I don't remember the group, but I sent it to you. I don't
Okay.
remember the group.
Is the group the same thing? Oh, you said you sent it to me? Okay, let me go and check real quick.
Uh-huh.
So definitely stay away. And where exactly is this, sis? What city and state?
St. Louis.
In St. Louis.
Missouri, yeah.
Okay. And how many sects are there? You said that they would, congregate with other different type of nations of the same sort. How many different
Mhm.
sects are in that particular city?
Lots. I can't
Mm.
even tell you. It's a lot of them.
So it's very popular. Is this something that is popular in that particular area? Because I know I see
Yeah.
them in different areas. So it is just in that area.
Mhm.
Mm-mm-mm. Yes, make sure you know that we are our own creator. We are the manifestors, the ones that actually bring the reality into this existence by your way of thinking and thoughts and actions. But yeah, we have to be responsible for some of this stuff and make sure we are astute to it. Well, sis, I appreciate you. It's getting a little late here. I know you were at work all day. We can definitely do this another time if you would like to, just to get some more things out. I definitely want to leave the information here. I probably will come back in and play more of the video next time. I didn't play as much. I really want to hear more from you. So I'll let you know when I do that. If you have time to jump up, I definitely would like for you to do that. I'll let you know beforehand and see if it's a proper time for you. Just to, make sure this is a one time I speak of this. I definitely want to speak of it again so that people are definitely aware of it, and especially younger women, that are in search of things that, are outside of themselves and they can definitely find it within themselves.
Right. Before we end it, can I say one final thing?
Oh, definitely. Say as much as you like, dear. Go right ahead.
Okay. So this is directed to Mahal because I know his bitch ass is watching. You, you drive my sister's bank accounts dried into the day that she passed.
Mm.
You think that Yahweh Yahweh can save you from the karma that's about to happen to you. You think you can't be touched. You really think you got it going on right now. Oh, your wife coming back to you. That's great. But you committed two of the greatest sin. One, thou shalt not touch a child. Two, thou shalt not speak from the ill of the dead. And what did your ass do?
Mm.
And when you get your karma, I want you to remember my face because I sent it to you. That woman did not deserve that video. And I told you to let her rest in peace. And you didn't. So now I'm going to drag you. I'm going to keep dragging you. Because you should have let her rest in peace. She was a good woman. And she ran away from you because you were beating on her. And now I'm coming for you. That is all.
Yes, sis, I appreciate you and all of your energy. And that is right. Expose, expose, expose. And to speak of her and ill will after her passing, that is definitely so disrespectful. And karma, as you said, will come around. He may think he's on a high horse right now, but trust and believe it will come back on him. Like you said, sister, keep it
Threefold.
going. Yes, threefolds. Yes, yes, yes. Everything that he partaked in and everything that he has done, it will continue to haunt him. And as you stated, you gave your word to let him know that you own this behind. And if I can participate and help you in exposing at any other time, I am there because we definitely need to make sure our communities are clear of these uh, perverts. Oh, the perverts and things of that nature, so on and so forth. So it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with when it comes to um, emotionally getting over these things. I'm glad that you are seeking counseling. I'm hoping that it will help you to cure a lot of this, sis. You are a beautiful person, a beautiful spirit. I'm so sorry that we're taking advantage of it all. But you're stronger now, and you are doing what you need to do. You coming out with the truth, exposing it, and letting people know to watch out for these particular people and things, and this person to be exact. So I definitely appreciate you. I appreciate you and your time. So
Thank
peace,
you.
love, and bliss to you. And on your final words, sweetheart, go right ahead before we end it. And I will be talking with you another time. I appreciate you once again for sharing your story there.
Okay. Thank you. Y'all have a good night.
All right. Peace, love, and bliss. Did anyone want to ask? Did you have a minute or two, sis? If anyone has a question,
Yeah.
anyone have any questions for the sister? I'm sorry, I didn't forget. I forgot to ask that. If anyone has any questions at all, I'll drop the link for a second to give you guys the opportunity to ask your question. If not, we will definitely bring the sister back again because we'll be doing some more exposing. We might need 2 or 3 videos to make sure we are continuing to get this information out, so on and so forth. And I am here for it. She deserves a platform to let her story be told and to expose and try to hopefully save others from going through this type of energy. All right. I don't see anyone coming up right now. And maybe next time. All right, sis. I appreciate you so much. I will be reaching out. We will definitely do this again and make sure we play a little bit more of this video so they can see some of the corruptness and maybe you can kind of decipher some of the things he's talking about and get into those lies. I would definitely love to do that as well.
Yep, there's plenty videos up there for you to discuss on his character and about and to make everything make sense about what I'm talking about. Y'all be able to see it.
All right, sis. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. We will do this again. You guys have a great night. Thanks so much for everyone that tuned in to hear her story. Make sure you guys are spreading the word, spreading the news. You have the name, the page, share it out. Share this video out so people are aware of this particular person and not only him, but as she said, the different sects. So there are plenty of these Hebrew nations. They're pretty much all doing the same thing. So from what she said, you guys need to have a great understanding of that and make sure we are being very cautious in our community. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Once again, you have a great night. Go ahead and relax for your evening. And I appreciate you once again.
Okay, thank you so much for having me.
Of course. All right, dear. Have a great one. Peace,
You
love,
too.
and bliss to everyone that came in to listen to the sister's story. Make sure, as I stated, you guys definitely share it out so this information can be exposed. We cannot allow these people to come into the community and harming women and children. It's a no-no. We are not going for it. So if you know anyone in the St. Louis area, spread the news. Let them know. They might be one of the ones that knows where he's teaching at, what school he's at. We'd like to get that information, you know? If so, drop some information in the comments or in my email so we can discuss this further. Thanks again for you guys coming in. Peace, love, and bliss. And you guys have a good evening.